Is there a specific conspiracy theory you'd want to focus on when you return? I don't know, man. It might be more stuff. The problem is for conservatives, it's like everything is a conspiracy. So it's literally everything. Big pharma, big everything. Yeah, I don't know. The Hawaii, yeah. Remember when was it in East Palestine in Ohio, when people said that burning of those chemicals was going to like destroy the entire state or like permanently contaminate the grounds because burning them off was like the wrong decision or some yeah, I don't know, bro. Everything is, yeah. What ending did you get for Ixion? I don't even remember. I think I turned all my people into the alien guys, and then they, yeah, did that. Why do you think conservatives become so unglued and distrusting of reality? Remnants of... I actually started writing a lot on my laptop about this because I had a 13-hour flight and I was bored. One of the reasons why institutions are so important, it's not just institutions, I'm using this as a stand-in, but think about it this way. A long time ago, everybody in real life was like a RuneScape Iron Man. You could probably learn to do every single thing a human could do. And I think we did. I think in early hunter-gatherer tribes, everybody knew like how to pick berries, like what was safe, what wasn't. I think most people knew how to hunt. I think even women sometimes would join hunts. Everybody could like weave baskets. Basically, every single individual human could learn every single job and task in society, like everything. You didn't really need institutional or social trust that much. Like, well, you needed social trust. You needed to know that people weren't liars, that people weren't trying to steal from you. You need to know that. But pre-agriculture, you didn't really need like to appeal to like, how do I know this basket is safe? Oh, well, Jonathan over there, the leader of the, basket validation club, they inspect all of it. Like, you didn't need that. You just look at it. I know how to build baskets, right? The issue is that as society becomes increasingly complicated, at some point you have to start trusting these third-party institutions because you don't have time. Not only do you not have time to validate everything on your own, you really have no idea how anything even works. Like, most people, like, as sophisticated as society is, if you held a gun to a person's head, 95% of humans couldn't put together a light bulb, right? Yet we operate some of the most sophisticated machinery or technology that's ever existed in all of human history. And in order for society to work that way, we have to externalize onto other people basically a whole bunch of trust. And that process is dangerous. Not dangerous. The process is necessary, but it can be interrupted. Like, for me to function in society, I've got to trust that my food is safe, my car is not going to explode, my cell phone's radiation isn't ionizing my brain. I've got to trust that the cars out there are going to stay on the road and they're not going to fly into me. I've got to trust cops won't randomly kill me. I need to trust that like intelligence agencies aren't going to try to like abduct me or plant evidence on my computer. I need to trust that like there's like a million different things going on, that like the cloth in these pillows aren't going to be like contagious with like some weird dye that's going to seep into my brain. There's a lot of different things that I don't know. I can't validate all of it. I don't know what's true or not. So there's an interesting thing that's happened. There's a process that's happened, right? So I'll call these like good epistemic practices, right? Good ways to discern truth from non-truth. It's good that you trust other people in society to tell you what's right or wrong. Not right or wrong, I'm sorry. To tell you what's like safe or unsafe, or to regulate certain things. That's good. That's fine. You should be doing that. The problem is what's happened is these third-party people have come in and they've said, don't trust the institution, but instead critical think. That's a false dichotomy. You can still critically think and trust institutions. These two things have nothing to do with each other. You can also critically think and not trust institutions, or you can trust institutions and lack critical thought, right? These things have nothing to do with each other. So what these people have come in is that come in, question everything, be critical, but that's not actually what's happening. What's happening is you've decided that you're not going to trust this group of people anymore. Now you've shifted, and now you just trust this group of people. And that's all that's happened. So instead of trusting the FDA, which is an organization that is, relatively well-staffed, that's regulated by the government, that's got institutional history, that's got accountability behind it, now you trust Tim Pool. Now you trust Joe Rogan. Now you trust John Malone. Now you trust these other people. They become your replacement institutions. People say, I don't trust institutions. Of course you do. You have to. You've got to externalize trust into something. But now your institutions have changed to alternative media YouTubers. And the problem is, all the same corruptibility that can exist in the mainstream institutions is 10 times amplified on the alternative media, right? You don't think there's a financial incentive to give you a populist take on literally everything relating to and the war in Ukraine and every other. Of course there is. There's so much. There's so much to gain there financially, but people don't even question it. So yeah, because they've tricked themselves into thinking, well, I don't trust those people. I'm just trusting them to tell me to critically think. But my form of critically thinking is just believing whatever they say, right? So yeah, I don't know. I've been writing down a lot of thoughts on because it's probably going to be pretty important going forward and figuring out how to break people out of it. But you know. I think you may be overusing the word trust here. I'm pretty sure most people who listen to Tim Pool would say, no, I know that Tim Pool gets things wrong, but at least he's more correct than the FDA. Well, then I would consider that trust. You trust him more than the FDA. And I think most people would. If you were to ask an average Tim Pool fan, who do you trust more to give you good information about SARS-CoV-2 or any of the vaccines? Do you trust Tim Pool or do you trust Fauci? 95% of them would say I trust Tim Pool, or 99% would probably say I trust Tim Pool more than Fauci. But or Brett Weinstein, true, yeah. In my opinion, the alt media has some optical elements that make them seem way more trustworthy. For instance, Joe Rogan has a reputation for having almost anyone on his podcast because the mainstream media feels more like an echo chamber, even though Joe Rogan has become an echo chamber in his own way. Yeah, that's true. Mainstream media needs to do much better, and I hope they're learning. I hope. With Google rolling back their policy on like instantly banning misinformation, I hope the mainstream media reevaluates how they engage with conspiracy theory. I understand why they don't want to, because it seems so stupid and so niche, but it's not niche anymore for the Republican parties. I don't know why I have both these mics on me. The Republican Party has become like the party of conspiracy theories, whereas before it might have been a minority, now it is a majority. An actual majority. Not a majority like, oh my God, like 15%. Like a majority where it's like, oh my God, like 70%.
Because I hear you say a lot of, I know where a lot of it comes from because I've heard it from other areas of the internet. And I always hear these same types of things. I don't want to be a sheep. I'm woke up to the truth. I figured out reality. But the reality is that you went from a sheep from herd A and now you're just a sheep in herd B. And I'm trying to get you to figure out how can you know if you're being, I'm trying to get you to, hold on. I'm trying to get you to figure out how to know if you're a sheep or not. That's what my question is to you.
Okay. So just to be clear, Destiny, you feel like you went from a sheep on one end. What is the sheep he's in now? What is he a sheep to now?
The red pill sheep. That's a big sheep. It's a big game. It's a ploy, and it's a not only is it a ploy, it is leading you exactly to where you're trying to lead people away from.
So who's controlling me? You believe in the government. You believe in all that nonsense. Who am I listening to?
I never said I believe in the government, but it sounds like you're listening to.
It sounds like you trust the government. You said you trust the government.
I said I trust the process, but it sounds like you're listening to people on TikTok, like Andrew Tate. You're listening to whatever alternative.
You wanted to understand how Sneako's brain works in regards to how he comes to his conclusion, how he went from one point to the next, right? How he went from whatever gets him to his thought process. So let's just go back to that, and then we'll move on to why we think what we think. So. Bring that question back, Desi. Can you bring that back?
Yeah, I want to know how you audit your thoughts. How do you know that you're not just following somebody blindly into some dumb?
Because I don't follow anybody blindly. I don't listen to anybody. There's nobody telling me to say anything. I don't trust.
Okay, then we'll do.
Than me. I don't follow anything.
Okay, we'll do a concrete example then. When it comes to wearing masks, how do you know if that's a good idea or not?
Because if people more powerful than me are telling me to do it, I instantly don't believe them.
Okay, do you understand that just makes you a sheep of the other herd, right?
Of what herd?
If there is I'm telling you, if there is a shepherd and he says all the sheep go left, you can either choose your own path or you can go right because he told you to go left. You understand? You're being just as controlled, right?
So who's controlling me?
The people that you don't like. When you do the opposite of what they say, they have just as much control over you as they do the other group of people.
Because my whole life I've not been wearing a mask. So
how do you determine? Well, I'm asking you a question. How do you determine?
That's not following anybody.
You are. I'm asking you a question. How do you?
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.